This is the MLW Radio Network. This is the Mind of the Meanie. Here are your hosts, the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard.
Peace, world, and welcome everybody to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world according to former WWE superstar and ECW original, the Blue Meanie. We'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the Mind of the Meanie. I'm your tour guide, Adam Barnard, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie, what's on your mind?
I am hungover. We went to McCusker's last night. We're sitting around watching TV, watch a couple podcasts, and then put in the Phillies game. And little inside baseball. We're recording this on Friday. After the Thursday, the Phillies fired Joe Girardi.
Mm-hmm. About time.
And, good riddance.
Seriously,
he is the Barry Switzer of sports managers, baseball managers. Like, he's known for winning a World Series with a team that his predecessor, pretty much prepared for him. Barry Switzer won the Super Bowl with the Cowboys that, Jimmy Johnson basically made for, here's a gift.
Right.
I'm sure Jimmy Johnson goes around, puts asterisks next to Barry Switzer's Super Bowl win. But, with Phillies fired, and Girardi won the World Series with the Yankees that Joe Torre basically just ran. But, and then, the first game without Joe Torre, they win 10-0. I was like, what a way to say fuck you to Joe Torre then.
Honestly.
Yeah, but we saw that. We're like, fuck, let's go to the bar. Because McCusker's is, it's a rock and roll. It's a little bit everything bar, but it's definitely a Phillies bar, So we went to the bar, had a few cocktails, and here I am today. Blessing you with my presence and my Irish flu. Have a little bit of Irish flu.
Irish flu. There is absolutely nothing worse, man, than being hungover at work. Full disclosure, as we all know, I have a shoe job outside of this, but I don't go to work hungover because I literally can't function. There would be absolutely no way that I could deal with the type of shit I deal with at work. Hungover, dude. It's the absolute worst feeling in the world. The last time I was hungover was August of 2020. It was my birthday. We were at my brother-in-law's house, and they don't have any kids, and so they drink, they party pretty frequently, and he had Fireball, and I've never drinking Fireball before, and I'm the type of idiot where I'm like, yeah, sure, let's take a shot, and then I take a shot and nothing happens. Like, oh, yeah, let's do it again. And then 7 shots deep, I'm falling down on the floor. Dude, yeah. I was hungover for 3 days. I had to call out of work. It was a Saturday. I had to call out of work on Monday because I was still I couldn't even get out of bed on Sunday. I was like, this is I can't believe this is happening. So I've sworn off hard alcohol since that point. But
I swear, after what was it? November to Remember in New Orleans, we did.
Yeah.
And after the pay-per-view, we went down to Bourbon Street and drank all night. I went right from Bourbon Street to the airport.
Oh, man.
This is 98. And I forget what airline I was on, but they went on strike while I was down there. So they had to put me on the new thing. And it was the worst. Flying to New Orleans is just the worst anyway, because you have to fly an hour past New Orleans to Texas and then an hour back to New Orleans. It's like, can you just give me a fucking parachute? It's like I flew to Houston, then Houston to, so on the way back, I've had to fly from New Orleans to Houston to Philly, and I'm drunk. And in Houston, I had a 6-hour layover.
Wow.
And 6 hours is a good piece of time to, take a nap or something,
Right.
And like I could have taken that, but then again, there was that fear of oversleeping and missing my layover.
Yes.
Missing my connection. So I was just like, I was doing the Clockwork Orange, putting toothpicks in my eyelids just to keep me awake. Like,
God, dude.
Yeah, I've done some things drunk that just like but I was in my 20s, know, and I was not a literal road warrior, but I was like a road warrior, just like gotta make the towns,
What would your road warrior name have been?
Oh, I don't know. Road warrior fart.
Well, they had puke. Come on, he's gonna puke.
He's gonna fart.
He's gonna fart. Oh, he's gonna do it. I farted. God damn it.
Dude, dude, I need to put a mic in my hallway between my bedroom and the bathroom, because I'll let out a fucking marathon one, like as I'm walking down the hall. Dude, I met somebody at the bar last night. Young dude. He plays saxophone in a band. And I was like, hey man, if I pay you a couple bucks, can you follow me around, do the Fat Man Walk music? I get pretty good pop at the bar.
Oh, that's hilarious, man. I usually, I have SEPTA stories now that I'm back on the train to go to work to the city. I will have SEPTA stories each weekend for everybody. But yesterday was a shit show. I was stuck on the train for probably about 45 minutes between 30th Street and Overbrook. I think somebody jumped in front of the train at the Ardmore station, which was horrible. I mean, it's terrible. And we were just sitting on the train and they were like, hey, we can't really go anywhere. We're going to dump you off at Overbrook and you just stay there. You have to take, a bus. The bus will take you the rest of the way. And there was someone that was sitting in front of me that had BO in the worst possible, you're sitting there and I think I don't know what's worse is the smell, or when they scratch greasy hair and the flakes and shit fall out. I'm sitting there reading this book and I'm watching this person and this person's just sleep, got their head back on the seat and they're scratching their dirty head and it's just fucking, I'm like, got up and moved. I'm like, this is disgusting, man. And it's SEPTA's always like that.
Well, dude, I had the weekend I went out to Pittsburgh for Norm Connors. And, Stevie and Ray were on that show. I took a Greyhound out. My car was busted. I was like, fuck, I'll take a bus out. Oh, my God. The guy in front of me, I don't know what it was, but I don't know if it's moles or warts sticking out through his hair. Kind of like when you see a mountain poke out through the woods. And that was my view for 6 hours. Just it's like, oh. And did you ever look at something and you can smell? There's not a smell there, but it looks like it smells. So you get that smell in your head, and you're just like,
you're just gagging the whole time.
Hey, I got Old Spice in a rag. I can just put over my face.
Give me some fucking mixed vapor rub under my nose or something, man. Yeah. Give me something.
I puff out my bottom lip and start breathing air, blowing air into my own face.
Because I know my breath is going to smell better than whatever the fuck that is, man. Yeah.
I think I'll just shit my pants right now.
Just going to defecate on the seat right here.
Yeah. I'll take a spite shit.
Oh, man. I'm sure I'll have some SEPTA stories for you guys as we come up. But shout out to the Pod Squad, by the way. Good morning, friends and family. Thank you for joining us again. Don't forget you can sign up at patreon.com/mindofthemeanie right now and see our lovely faces, sometimes hungover and sometimes not. We are 50% hungover today. So you can come and see us every single day. But also I wanted to say this before we got into before we talk about the elephant in the room besides me. Hey. I saw your parallel park job the other day, man. And I don't think people appreciate, people from Philadelphia don't appreciate a good parallel park when they see one. I am the king of parallel parking here in Westchester because of all the parking. My buddy Kurt, shout out to Kurt Rents, used to live on Gillespie Street down in the Northeast. And they were super tiny. You know how it is, the super tiny fucking streets in the middle of Philly. and you have to parallel park. So, and I had this big Blazer at the time, the Chevy Blazer, and I had to parallel park that bitch in Philly. And man, I just got so good. Like, I don't even really look anymore when I do it. I'm like, yep, I can fit there. And Courtney's like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, nope, watch. One turn this way, one turn that way, and I'm in, but I tip my hat to you, sir, for your incredible parallel park job the other day that you posted on Twitter.
Yeah. I think I just did that. Did I do that on Twitter?
I think you did.
I did for we have a Inside Baseball. If you join up patreon.com/mindofthemeanie, we have a Facebook group.
Yes.
So, I was like, oh man, I got to share this one. And there you could probably barely fit a piece of paper between both fenders, my back fender and my front fender. And it's just like parallel parking in South Philly should be like an Olympic event.
Yes.
But I pulled up. I was like, I mean, if it wasn't like 1 o'clock in the morning, I probably would have kept looking around for a better spot. But I was like, you know what? Fuck, I can make that.
Yeah.
And it's an art form, I utilize, I got to turn the radio down.
Yeah.
And then I utilize my mirrors, and I could pretty much tell the depth of how close I am to the car, depending on, my brake lights. Like when they start to, I'm like, all right. And then put it in drive, a little, back in reverse, and it was kind of like that scene in fucking Austin Powers when he's driving the that thing, and he's like just back and forth. You got to do that a couple million times.
Yeah,
but I got in that fucking spot. It's like, I am going to bed. I got to park this car, and I got to go to bed. I did.
It's funny you say that when you're talking about like using your brake lights to see the depth. Like Courtney will yell at me, my wife, she'll yell at me all the time when I'm parallel parking, like, don't get too close. And I'm like, I have like a sixth sense for how close I am to the car behind me and the car in front of me. And I know I've yet, knock on wood, and I know I will probably now because I'm saying it out loud, but I have yet to ding a car or tap a car while I have been parallel parking. I've hit the curb plenty of times, but not a car in front of me or behind me. Yeah, dude, because it fucks your whole thing up, and then you got to start again, and but yeah, parallel parking is a fucking art form here in Philadelphia, and you have to. It's literally sink or swim. Like, you have to learn how to do it if you're going to live here, or if you're going to work here or travel here. And it's just, I just wanted to applaud you out loud, sir, in public for your parallel park job. You can see what I'm doing right now if you join us at patreon.com/mindofthemeanie. But Meanie, we got big things to talk about today. 2 big things, AEW related, or as Jim Cornette would say, AEW. Whoa. I hope you watched Dynamite this week.
You really didn't have a choice. The internet was ablaze.
MJ, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and ask it because there's no other way to say it. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Blue Meanie.
Yeah.
What did you think of MJF's promo on Dynamite?
Oh, it was fucking amazing. For those who missed it, for the 2 people in the world who probably missed it, MJF, they've had this like ongoing storyline, behind the scenes storyline. It's, they're trying to portray as a shoot or real, if you will. And, that him and Tony Khan are at odds over money and stuff like that. And I'm sure it could be true. And I'm sure maybe they've squashed it and, worked out something. And they're like, hey, let's just fucking run with it, But, that promo was amazing. And usually the best promos are the ones that are based off of real life things, because it's easy to get into, and it's easy because, promos are all about feeling, good promos, are about feeling, telling the truth, and, people can get behind it. And, his promo, I mean, everybody bastardized the words pipe bomb based on, which is, in reference to CM Punk's epic promo in WWE, against John Cena and the Machine in WWE, and it was amazing. That was amazing. But everybody tries to so dropped the pipe bomb, and you go, really? That was a pipe bomb promo? But this MJF promo, that was probably right up there with Punk's initial pipe bomb promo, and everybody's like, is it a shoot or it's a work? Trust me,
Really?
it's a work.
You think so? That was going to be my next question as we led into it, and I'm glad you kind of ripped that Band-Aid off, because I've been trying to pick you and Real Dad's brain about it. But you think it's a work?
No, it's a work. If there was a money issue or there's an issue, I was trying to think of a word, but brains. No person in their right mind would let somebody go out on their TV that they're paying millions of dollars for to go out there and bury him like that. And the point that tips off that it was a work that, like, they ended the promo with MJF calling Tony Khan a fucking mark, and on live TV they just happened to know when to hit the beep. They beeped. When he went to say fucking mark, they beeped him. Now, if somebody really went on TV and said, "Oh, yeah, fucking mark," there would probably hit like a 7-second delay. When what was it? Will Smith and Chris Rock.
Yeah.
When he said, "Leave my wife's name out your fucking mouth," there was a jump in the video because they had to
cut it.
They had to censor him. It made the Japanese version, because they didn't know he was swearing. But
their TV delays are much different. Like their indecency line is a lot different than ours.
Yeah, but that's a prime example. If somebody goes to call you a fucking mark, and to beep them at that exact point.
And I'm curious though, with that point though, I'm curious to know how, like, what the delay set. This is just like more of a technical question, but I'm curious to know what the delay setup is on something like that, because it's live.
Right.
It's live. I'm sure there's some.
There wouldn't have been a beep. There would just have been. They probably jump in video because you hit the dump.
But or like what WWE does, they block out they just cut the sound. Like when you hear, they did that during the Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes promo the other day. Gotcha. I guess someone in the crowd was cussing or something, and they literally just dumped the audio, so you could still see the video playing, but the audio was just dumped out. And Travis just mentioned too, when John Moxley told that guy to he said something like get him the fuck out of here. That made TV.
Yeah.
So there's definitely something to that. I guess with me, I'm never really sure. I guess I am a good mark for people, but
he was out there for 8 minutes.
Yeah. How long was CM Punk's pipe bomb?
It was a good bit. I didn't time that, but
I'm looking at it right now.
I know MJF's was 8 minutes because somebody else said it was 8 minutes, so I was like, I'll go with it. But yeah, it's a work. And I feel bad for all these reporters who are like propagating the work. MJF bought a plane ticket. How the fuck would you know?
Yeah,
MJF a plane ticket.
Who is telling you that? And I'm not shitting on anybody, and I'm not being
no.
But it's like,
it's hard enough to get news, right, but I think some people got played.
Yeah,
and definitely, you gotta look at these people and go, oh, so what's the next story? When they tell you the next story, you're like, how accurate is it?
Right. Well, Lucha just had a good point. A Pod Squad member, Lucha Lechezo, I hope I pronounced that correctly, was said that MJF had canceled a lot of indie appearances since October. So, and they said some of this feels real. Honestly, like, I don't necessarily disagree with the fact. I know this isn't Mind of the Atom, this is Mind of the Meanie, but I'm giving my analysis.
Conversation.
It's a lot of this feels like it started from a real place. There's been a lot of information about MJF coming out and how much he's being paid. And, look, like nobody, like, first of all, I'm never, like, that's never going to be a question I ask Meanie. You know, like I'm always interested in like the business aspect of things and like how a downside guarantee works and like what all that lingo and verbiage means. But I'm not going to say to Meanie, oh man, how much did you make while you were wrestling in WWF when you were at WrestleMania? Like that is just not shit you should be asking. Even not just professional wrestlers, but anybody. Like that's just not your business. But to say that MJF should be being paid more than what he is, if that is actually what he's making, honestly, for me, as someone who has gripes with both companies right now, my favorite parts of AEW have been involving MJF. Like, he just is that good, and I feel like he deserves more, but I get sort of the business aspect as to why Tony wouldn't pay him without extending him, but
think about it. It's amazing, you know, Sasha and Naomi walk out and people thought that was a work, and, you know, MJF wants more money and is arguing and they think that's a shoot.
Yeah. When it's very clearly it's the opposite. I mean, you know.
Here's the deal. It's like, you know, Naomi and Sasha walked out, WWE addressed it, and they haven't mentioned them again since then. Has Naomi and Sasha gone out and cut an 8-minute promo on Vince McMahon or Johnny Ace and creative or no? Yeah. So, you know, why is Tony Khan, who's, you know, TV time's very valuable, you know, especially when it comes to advertising and all that stuff. Why would he give 8 minutes of precious TV time for somebody to go out there and just pull down his pants and take a dump all over him, you know?
Yeah.
It's a work.
It has to be. It has to be.
Now where it goes, who knows? I don't know if Tony's going to come from behind the camera or what. I don't know. Hopefully we're not going into evil Mr. McMahon mode.
Yeah. Mr. McMahon, Eric Bischoff. That happened in the 90s, guys. Let's move. Let's find something else.
I hope it doesn't go the evil GM route or whatever, or evil owner route, because, you know, like that's just played out. But I'm interested to see where it goes, and we'll see what happens. But that promo was amazing, and it felt real. And I guess apparently when they went off the air, CM Punk chased them out of the ring or whatever, but in commercial break. But yeah, we'll see where it goes.
There is something that has kind of like torched the internet a bit about this promo. I've been seeing a lot of commentary about it. I'm just going to read this exchange here. This little paragraph from the pipe bomb, if you will. Your opinions suck. Your opinions change at the drop of a dime, and then you pretend your new opinions match your old opinions. For example, man, I always knew MJF was a great wrestler. Really? That's interesting, because last time I checked, you guys pretended I sucked in the ring for a long time. And why is that, huh? Because I'm not untrained like your faves? Because I don't pretend to watch New Japan? Because I don't dump my opponents on their head? Because I'm not reckless? What is it? Because I'm not chasing star ratings, guys. What is it? Hey, and then jumping forward a little bit. Hey, boss, would you treat me better if I were an ex-WWE guy? I don't necessarily think that a lot of that is untrue from his vantage point, or maybe some other people in the locker room.
Well, all you have to do is go read Twitter and see what the fans are talking about and work that into the promo.
Yeah.
Raven and, well, more so Jake the Snake Roberts would work, you know, when they were doing a promo, they were working like a song lyric from a popular song. So when somebody hears it, they go, oh man, I heard that somewhere. You know, they hear something familiar, so it draws them in quicker. And while they're thinking about it, they get sucked into the rest of the promo. All you have to do is, you know, go on Twitter and find bullet points, see what people are saying. And then, I'll address that. I'll address this. I'll address that. You know, when I went to AEW in October and Crowbar was wrestling Joey Janela, and Joey's like, man, I got to come to the ring, cut a promo. I was like, well, if you don't go to that ring and say, you know, the smartest man in Philadelphia is Ben Simmons, because he wants to leave this godforsaken town, then I don't know what to tell you, because that's like the biggest hot topic issue in Philadelphia right now. And he went out there and said it, and it got a reaction. And then, you know, once they went to the live Dynamite, the crowd started chanting "fuck Ben Simmons." Yeah, not saying that I caused the "fuck Ben Simmons" chant, but that's what you got to do. You got to talk about. I mean, why are you having these issues? It's easy to say, AEW's become Noah's Ark for former WWE guys. And there's also that conspiracy theory. WWE's purposely releasing these people to, fuck with AEW and make them spend more money than they were spending. I'm sure the cost of the roster is going up since all these WWE guys come over. And I think Vince actually slipped once. Said something like, "We'll give them more," or something like that.
Maybe we'll give them more.
Yeah,
in the middle of a fucking investors call. Maybe we'll send them more. Like, whoa! And then I forget. I don't know if it was Nick Khan or somebody else, but like immediately jumped in and we're like, "Well, we're just gonna like change the subject." But
think about it. If back in the territory days. If the wrestler's getting stale, you would send them to another promotion.
Yeah.
Vince would call up, Graham. I can't think of his first name. Eddie Graham in Florida. Hey, I'm wrapping up so-and-so. You want to take him down there for whatever? And you would send, this is a modern day version of, just sending somebody to another territory without the other guy knowing that you're sending, this way, somebody gets stale on WWE, just release them to go work elsewhere. And, SJR says, put on a fresh coat of paint. And then when they're done with AEW, they can come. Look, Cody went back, right?
Yeah.
He literally put on a fresh new coat of paint with a neck tattoo. And, no, I'm just joking. But no, he went to AEW, reinvented himself, and came back to WWE. You can always go back. So that's why, when you're taking in all these old ex-WWE guys, I'm sure the guys who are considered the founding fathers of AEW are like, Jesus Christ, enough,
Yeah.
How everybody's competing for airtime.
Yeah.
If MJF's considered one of the four pillars of AEW and he's not being paid that, I'm sure, that'd be a great part of a promo, but who knows? Like I said, I think there's a point where they probably had like a discussion about pay and they're like, we could, run with this as an angle, but, they're leaking stuff out to the press and they're doing all the thing, WWE takes Sasha and Naomi's stuff off WWEshop.com. Now MJF stuff is off of, shopaew.com and it's just copy and paste, different. They're working off the Sasha and Naomi thing. They're okay, let's remove them from our webpage. Let's remove the merch.
Yeah,
which I mean you can still buy stuff on Press on Tees, I'm sure. So but it's a well orchestrated work.
I'm just curious to know your as well. Like, suppose MJF goes to WWE. Mm-hmm. How far up do you think do you think he's going to have the same level of success that Cody Rhodes is having right now? Or do you think he's not, do you think that character, let me rephrase it this way. Do you think that gimmick and that character translates into what WWE is doing right now?
I mean, I don't know if translate. The thing is, you gotta, what sets you apart from everybody else? If I'm a young aspiring wrestler, I would see what the popular thing is and just do the opposite, because you can't stand out when you're blending in, So, I mean, that MJF definitely stands out. He since he was a kid, he has charisma, and he's getting jacked. You look at him, he definitely looks like he's preparing to the WWE. The way he's getting he's putting on the muscle. But could he transform over to absolutely? I'm sure Cody can be that conduit, to get him over there. But who knows? He's his contract's, he's got a contract till 2024 or something like that.
18 months are left on his contract. Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting 18 months.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, if Tony pays him enough to stay, if they haven't already worked that out. But like I said, I think that there was an issue with pay, and they probably worked that out, and now they're just making a storyline out of it. And at the last second, they'll have what will MJF do?
Yeah.
Remember when they Brett had the decision on Monday Night Raw?
Yeah. Yeah.
Announced on Monday Night Raw that he was staying, and they pan over to Vince, and Vince is like, "Oh, phew," what will Bret Hart do?
Yeah.
And I am staying in the WWF, and he stayed.
Yeah.
They're probably going to do that. I mean, they love to redo all Bret Hart's greatest hits on AEW because he is the best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. But they're probably just up till 17 months and 1 day left. They'll probably work it out to what's he going to do? What's his decision?
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I would imagine, and I think it would be stupid of Tony not to throw a ridiculous amount of money at MJF when his contract is up. I can see why, like I said, as far as from a business standpoint, why Tony may not want to do that without extending his contract. Like, I get that from a business end, but also, like, you have to realize, like, if I have Ken Griffey Jr. on my baseball team and he's proven himself to be the best fucking player on the team or one of the best players on the team, and I want to keep him and he's fielding offers, like, maybe it would be time to renegotiate that. Maybe it would be time to give him a little bump or something. Anything to be like, hey, man, we're going to keep you here. We want to keep you happy. Let's do this. Let's do that. But I don't know, man. Go ahead.
I think back to the Eagles T.O. situation,
right,
where T.O. came out and outperformed his contract and said, hey, I'd like to get a little bit more money, please. Basically, he was the best player in the Super Bowl on a broken leg.
Yes, he was. Philadelphia, acknowledge Terrell Owens in that Super Bowl and acknowledge the fact. I get angry about this, Meanie. You hit a fucking hot button today. Donovan McNabb shit the bed in that Super Bowl. Donovan McNabb shit that bed in the entire fucking season. And T.O. was right. I said it.
Shout out to Ike Reese from the Marks and Reese show. He told a story of how their friction started. There was a game in New York, and T.O. ran a route, and he was wide open. He gets back to the huddle, and he says, hey, man, I was open. Hey, man, I was open. Yeah, hey, man, I was open. Donovan looked at T.O. Man, shut the fuck up. And T.O. was just like, From that point on, T.O. was like, all right, I'm going to make this about me.
Wow. Wow.
So, yeah, in the huddle during the game while they're on offense, T.O. was like, I was open. Donovan went, man, shut the fuck up. So that's, that's, but the T.O. situation, if they were, the next season, he's like, have just a little bit more money. And, I forget who their GM was at the time, but this before Howie Roseman. Their standard was, well, he knew the contract he was signing, so I don't know if, Tony's an NFL owner too. So I don't know if he's all about, well, he knew the deal he was signing, so who knows how this will, if they haven't already worked it out, which I think they probably have, I have no, inside baseball knowledge up there, but it's just a matter of, seeing how this plays out.
I think the other thing too is if this is a work, it feels very Andy Kaufman like.
Yeah.
It feels very much like, and this, I guess for me too, is like the best part of wrestling, and why I'm a wrestling fan is because you're not sure. You still could sit here and be like, oh yeah, it's a work. But then you're like, is it completely a work? Or, oh, it's a shoot. Is it completely a shoot? Like you don't really know. And I feel like that's what makes wrestling so exciting. I don't know.
There's still people who think the Montreal Screwjob was a work. And
That's crazy.
And I could point to ideas where, it could have been a work, but then you can point to the parts where it was probably a shoot. The points where, it could have been a work. Well, put it this way, and I say this all the time: when you before you cry, oh, that's a work, think to yourself, who benefits from the work?
Right.
A work is basically a con in a way, a grift. Who benefits? So say the Montreal screw job was a work. Who benefits? Everybody benefited. They got the belt off of Brett, one to Sean. Brett didn't have to do a job on the way out. And WWE created a great new heel character that had a run. Had one of the top feuds eventually with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I would argue to say the best heel of the Monday Night Wars.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was a heel he didn't have to worry about leaving because he owned the company.
Right. Right. Evergreen. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where you go, okay, Montreal Screwjob could have been a work because somebody benefited from it. Now with this, who benefits? They're creating buzz.
Right.
And that's, buzz beats everything. Buzz trumps everything because when done right, I should say, because buzz is the best form of free advertisement.
Absolutely.
Telephone, television, tell the people, so if I see something on TV and go, God damn, man, I just saw the damn thing. You got to watch this. And then that person watches, that person tells their friend. And by the time the audience grows, that's the benefit of the MJF Tony Khan thing being a work. They're getting all this free publicity on all the news sites because they're working everybody.
Here's another.
They're probably laying it all out through text messages.
Here's another part of that too that should be sort of talked about. This is my personal opinion, but I feel as though AEW has struggled with breaking through their legion of fans who watch religiously every week. They haven't pulled anybody in really. They haven't been able to break through that top that they hit. They hit their peak when they're with their ratings, and then they don't hit any higher. And that's, could be a multitude of reasons and a multitude of factors, which I won't get into because I'm not here to shit on anybody. I'm just saying that based on the facts, they have a certain threshold that they seem to never be able to get through, and be curious as to why. But I will tell you, watching Dynamite on Wednesday, it has never interested my wife. My wife is not an AEW fan, but she sat through that entire MJF promo and watched that entire thing with her mouth open and eyes wide going, holy shit, is this real?
Right.
And now she's like, I want to know what happens next week. And there's your fucking tie. There's the grab, right? Because now I'm invested in the storyline too. Now I want to know what's going to happen next week. It does tie into, we'll talk about CM Punk in a second because that's the second part of the news that happened. But, once that pipe bomb happened in WWE with John Cena, it became a part of CM Punk's character. It became the story that was with CM Punk. Shooting on everybody, he would shoot on Johnny Ace and Kevin Nash and, Hunter and everybody else that's in the ring. And it became who he was. And eventually he left anyway. But I don't know what kind of, I don't want to see this drag out for 18 months. I don't know what kind of legs this has on it. And I'm curious to know, I still think MJF is going to be the guy that beats CM Punk for the title. And I think this is where that's going. Yeah. But now that we have sort of a monkey wrench, if you will, CM Punk is injured, has an injured foot, and will have to have surgery. Last night they were saying on Rampage that he was going to relinquish the title, and now he's not. There's going to be an interim champion. Interim champion is going to be crowned at the Forbidden Door on June 26th. Lots of questions about CM Punk, but, what do you think about the news on CM Punk? I mean, it sucks. It's obviously the shits because he just won the title, had this big coronation. What are your thoughts on CM Punk not vacating the title, though?
It's unfortunate that, he got injured. Your first match after you win the world title and you break something in your foot, that sucks.
Yeah.
Did they say what exact spot where he got hurt?
I'm not sure. I've been trying to find it I've been trying to look up the information while we were here. It says, let me just try to find this here while you're talking.
No, it's unfortunate. When he wins the belt, he comes out and does a 6-man tag. I think they could just give him a night off and give him the night off from competing, to win the world title. And then your next match is a 6-man tag match. It's like,
yeah.
It seems in the opening of the show, if anything, have him come out, hit the music, and then he comes out and does a promo, and then celebrate him being champion and going with the rest of the show. But this to have a match, just a
6-man tag, it doesn't feel.
Yeah, it just felt like, the belt should be important. The belt, that's the belt in AEW. And just the guy who just won the championship on the pay-per-view comes out and this has a 6-man tag. It seemed like almost like a throwaway match, but it just didn't make sense to me. I thought when he came out, I thought he was just going to cut a promo and, talk about it and maybe set something up for, maybe next week or whatever. But yeah, it sucks. He broke his foot, and I guess they're doing the UFC thing, where somebody gets an injury, they have an interim championship. They're borrowing from
Dana White.
UFC. Yeah. So that'd be something if they probably can't do it now, but like if MGF won the interim belt, and when Punk came back, he refused to. They were unified. He's like, "Nah, I'm the fucking champ."
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm curious to see if it's going to be a New Japan guy because they're doing it at the Forbidden Door. Are they going to be involved in this? Is it going to be somebody from Ring of Honor? What's the what's going to be the timeline on this? But excuse me, it's the Rona TM. I'm curious, man. It seemed very confusing though on Rampage because they were, Chris Jericho said a couple of times that he was going to relinquish the title, and then they corrected themselves right before he came out, and it was like, guys, what the fuck is going on? Like, what, Yeah. It wasn't any more confusing than last night's SmackDown, but, there was a lot there. I'm curious, we hope that Punk it rests up and gets better and gets back in the ring and, gets the help that he needs and figured it out. But, it's just a shame, man. It's a shame that he gets all the way to the top of the mountain there and then he's got to cancel it. But I do agree. I felt like, I think it was Tanahashi that came out after the 6-man tag, right? I think they were setting that up for the Forbidden Door. So I feel like that's going to be.
Big fan of Tanahashi. He's a good dude. I went to a Ring of Honor show at the arena, and the New Japan guys were there, and I'm standing there and just hanging out. It was me, Mrs. Meanie, and a few other people, I think from the Monster Factory. And Tanahashi goes around and taps Mrs. Meanie on the shoulder, goes, "Blue Meanie?" Points to me. He asked Mrs. Meanie if I was the Blue Meanie. Which, like, he's a grown man, but it was the cutest goddamn thing I've ever seen. And I go over, we shook hands and talked for a little bit and took a couple photos together, which is cool.
That's cool.
And I'll message him here and there.
Yeah.
But, it was good to see Tanahashi on AEW. He's got fantastic hair.
He does.
He's
luxurious.
Yeah. He uses Pro. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. Whatever that shampoo in the 80s was.
Yep.
With Kelly LeBrock or whatever. What's weird science? I don't know. I'm just rambling here.
I'm trying to find the shampoo commercial. Pantene commercial from the 1980s.
Okay.
Kelly LeBrock, you're right. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. And meaning I would ask you the same thing. Don't hate us Because we're beautiful. Meanie, I do have a question for you, though. Are
Yes.
you ready to ask Meanie?
I would love to. It's time to ask Meanie anything.
Ask me something.
Don't forget, tweet us your questions using the hashtag AskMeanie. Hit us on Twitter, Mind of the Meanie. Hit us on Facebook, facebook.com/Mind of the Meanie. Drop your questions, and we will ask them on the show. We're going to hit the Pod Squad here real fast. Don't forget, patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. You get to join us now and watch us and our pretty faces. Pod Squad member Lucha Lechoso wants to know, hey, Meanie, who would you like to see face Hiroshi Tanahashi now that Punk is out at the Forbidden Door pay-per-view?
Who doesn't have a match yet? I would say Daniel Bryan right off the bat, but I don't know if does he have a match already?
I'm not sure, but that would be my choice too.
Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. You know, it would have to be Daniel Bryan, you know, or Bryan Danielson, whatever, what the fuck ever. I'm just getting used to calling John Moxley. All right. So, yeah, definitely Bryan Danielson would make all the sense of the world, you know, as far as that roster goes. Or Hangman Page, but I don't know what their plans with Hangman Page are for right now, you know, with him having lost the AEW belt, stuff like that. So who knows? But number one would be Bryan Danielson if he doesn't already have a match, because I don't know what the card is.
Andrew Bailey wants to know, hey, Meanie, why is Moxley automatically in the interim championship match when he's ranked number 4 on the AEW ranking system? Everybody else has to be in the Battle Royal.
I don't know. I don't like the whole rankings thing in AEW. I thought I was going to like it, and I just don't like it, because all you have to do is look at the win-loss record and see who's getting buried, you know? You know, you can unintentionally bury somebody, you know, with wins and losses and stuff like that. So that's a great question. But I'm sure that, I mean, they weren't planning on having to do this in the first place, so they're in scramble mode, so to speak. So who knows? It'll be interesting to see what they do. It's going to be a battle royal for the belt, right?
Yeah, it's going to be like a battle royal, and I think I guess whoever wins the battle royal, and I don't know if they're going to do like a tournament, you know, guys are going to fight each other, and then it's going to happen at the Forbidden Door. So
they should just have a battle royal, and when it comes down to the last two people, it goes from being a battle royal to pinfalls count.
Yeah.
You know, but
I don't know.
What do I know?
Hey, that's what we're asking. That's why we're asking Meanie. Remember?
It's time to ask Meanie anything.
Ask me something.
It's the shits.
I can't remember what regular air smells like.
Pod Squad member Devin Miller wants to know, if ECW did a Forbidden Door style show with WWE around 1996 or so, who would you have wanted to face?
If we did one with WWE?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I'm trying to think who's on the fucking roster. Probably Goldust, you know?
Yeah.
We could have done BlueDust versus Goldust a couple of years before we did in WWE. You know, I mean, the door was open. It was just, you know, the back door, because, you know, Vince was, you know, paying, you know, Vince was giving ECW money. So we were kind of like a glorified feeder system. But, yeah, in that era, if I had to, you know, try to remember that, you know, the 96 WWE roster, I would say definitely do BlueDust versus Goldust, you know, company versus company.
Yeah.
And it would have been cool to work with that version of Goldust as well, because,
yeah,
you know, Dustin was so good with evolving, you know, the character. Just, it would have been awesome.
Mark and Dryden wants to know, this question's for both of you. I love Adam questions. Ooh. First concert and any interesting or funny stories from your first concert.
My first concert was a free concert. It was the Beach Boys in Atlantic City. I want to say 1984 or 85. And they moved it to Atlantic City because for some reason they used to do an annual concert on the 4th of July in Washington, and one of the politicians did something, and they had to move it. They couldn't perform in Washington. I forgot what the steps were, and it was just a cool thing to go to a concert with my grandparents.
Yeah.
And just, watch the Beach Boys. And this was when their drummer was still alive. Dennis Wilson was still alive. So I got to see the Beach Boys with Dennis Wilson. And then the next day we went to the, we were staying I lived in Atlantic City at the time. So the next day we went to the beach. We went to the exact beach where the concert was. And I swear I could have seen like the stage was still up and they were doing stuff. And I could have sworn I saw like one of the Beach Boys on the stage. And I regret not going over and be like, hey, saying something, but yeah, it was cool. My first concert. My first paid concert was Van Halen. But, since we're talking about first concert, I think that still counts, even though it was free.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That was a great show. It was a great show. There's video of it somewhere, like news stories and stuff like that on it. But yeah, it was cool. There was like, I think they tried to say there was like over 100,000 people there, but
wow.
I don't know.
My first concert was the Snowcore Rock Festival in 2002.
Really?
Yeah. So it was Alien Ant Farm. Yeah, Edema and Glassjaw played that show. It was fucking great. It was free. I was a reporter. Actually, I was a high school reporter for the Bucks County Courier-Times back from like 2000 to 2003. And I used to cover concerts pretty frequently. And we used to get free tickets all the time. So I went and covered this show. And it was pretty solid. It was the first time I ever crowd surfed, and that was fun. I'm trying to think if there's any wild stories at that show. I don't think there was. My first paid show, I think it was the so Snowcore was actually sponsored that year by Y100, which is a very famous Philadelphia, alternative rock station, which is no longer around. So R.I.P. Y100. But
technically it still lives on in virtual form. There's like a streaming version.
Yes, I think I think it's involved with XPN, if I remember correctly, WXPN.
Yeah, because WISP, which used to be 94.1 WISP, that kind of went away, still evolves on the HD channels.
Really?
There's still technically a WYSP.
Wow.
Yeah, if you go on the Odyssey app or radio.com, you can get WYSP, and they still have the bumpers and stuff like that. It's
no
pretty cool.
Shit. I'll have to check it out, man. I love that. Yeah, YSP used to be the only channel you could get like the heavy rock. You know what I mean? You could get like Static X or Soulfly or any of those. Like they were like the only station that played it in Philly, and MMR was like your playing even flow 30 times a day.
Yeah.
Jess Marchera, fucking. I'll have to send that to you. It's so great. But anyway, I digress. Back to the question. My first paid concert was the Sprite Liquid Mix Tour in 2003, which was headlined by Pharrell Williams and NERD and The Roots. And if you've never seen The Roots live, Pod Squad and anybody else out there that's listening, you owe it to yourself to go see them live because they are fucking incredible.
Yeah.
One of the guys we were with, what's that?
Get busy now.
One of the guys that we were with jumped into the Delaware River because we were at the Tweeter Center at the E Center, and he jumped in. So we were on the Trenton side, or the Camden side rather, and he jumped into the river, which was, I don't know why anybody would do anything like that, but I think there were definitely some mind-altering substances involved during that time. But we would not let him ride in the car. He had to ride in the back of the pickup truck the whole way home. So I was not about it.
The good thing about the Roots is they worked in Van Halen in one of their songs.
Really?
I think the song "Get Busy."
Oh no shit!
Yeah, there's a really cool. There's a video online. Somebody did a mix of all the epic Philly sports moments to that song, And that's where I first heard like the Roots. That's where I first heard the Roots. And then I was like, man, this band, they said something about Van Halen. And then I found out they're from Philly. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck. They're awesome.
Yeah, they're fucking great. I'm telling you, they are absolutely fantastic.
You know?
If you also one quick plug for them as well, Black Thought, who is the head of the band, because they're a live band. They're not, they have a DJ, but they're also a live band. Black Thought did a 10-minute freestyle a couple years ago on Funk Flex on Hot 97. And it is incredible. So go out of your way to check that out. Last question for you today comes from Nate Smythe. He wants to know, you've definitely been in the business. I want to know what you think. If there was one thing you could change about the business today that is different than the way it used to be, what would you change?
One thing that doesn't, like, I guess no longer exists.
Either that, or like if there's something that your biggest issue with something that happens, like the loss of kayfabe or something like that, I think is what he's asking.
I forget who said, I don't know if it was Cornette or Dutch Mantel, but they said we used to protect each other and tell everybody it was real. Now we just kill each other and tell everybody it's fake. It's just, there's an art. I mean, kayfabe's not dead. It's not. It's just misused. Prime example, me not telling anybody where I'm going to be wrestling, not that I'm, the top topic of, pro wrestling.
But bro, you're pretty fucking over. Don't lie. You're pretty over.
I'm pretty good at hiding where I'm going to be next. To the point where when I came out for MLW like a year ago, my friend was like, "You motherfucker, you were texting me as if you were home, and 1 minute you send me a text and your ring music hits."
I did not know. Full disclosure, that you would be at the MLW. Fightland, until about an hour after I was there. And I think that was the same thing. I think I may have seen you or something. And I was like, fuck, Blue Meanie's here? And listen, man, I heard that crowd when you came out. I heard that crowd. They were fucking hot for you, man.
Oh, man, that you're very kind. I mean, fuck, the NWA show.
Yeah.
I did the Crockett Cup, and I poked my head out. I hadn't realized they opened the doors. I went, oh, fuck. And then somebody DM'd me. Like, there's this reporter, Bob Kapoor from Canada. I think he does Slam wrestling. He DM'd me. He's like, "Are you in Nashville?" And I just fucking no soul. Like,
nope.
Hey, if I was, why would I tell you and fucking ruin the surprise?
Yeah.
Don't ask me. Don't put me on the fucking. Don't force me to lie to you, or don't force me to ignore you, because I love ignoring people. But I don't like lying. But if I have to protect what I'm doing, then I got to protect what I'm doing. If somebody asks me not to tell anybody, and then you're forcing me to fucking say something, I'm gonna have to lie, or just not talk to you at all, which basically gives away that I am there.
That's why I don't even ask you. Like, most times I won't even ask. Like, hey, are you gonna be here? Are you gonna be there? I just want to be surprised. But I think like I said, you kayfabed me the one time because I knew that you knew I was going to the Fightland show, because I think I said something either on the show or around that time. And then you sold me. So I appreciate the fact that you keep that going, because that makes me feel good, because I'm like, oh shit, he's my buddy. We do the show together, but you're still keeping it alive, which I really dig.
Yeah, that's just fucking the art form of just keeping secrets, not like that, not like everything was super secretive back in the past anyway, because, Meltzer had to get his news from somewhere.
Meltzer.
Be a Wade Keller. Be Wade Keller, don't be.
Yeah, in a sea full of Dave Meltzers and Brian Alvarez's, be a Wade Keller.
I like Alvarez, but just tone.
Yeah.
I'm all about tone with people, just talk to people like people, but Brian's a good dude. I don't hate Brian Alvarez. I don't hate Dave Meltzer.
Yeah.
But just your fucking tone.
Well, I think that's why
they're so blatantly, fanboys.
Yeah.
Which is fine. You know, there's a video of Jim Cornette reviewing the AEW press scrum. And one of the reporters says, my favorite moment of the evening. It's like, what reporter says that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my favorite, imagine,
imagine Robert Costa fucking going into the middle of the fucking like Trump White House press briefing and being like, oh yeah, my favorite, my favorite policy initiative that you did is this. He's not kissing ass. He's a reporter.
No, imagine somebody going to an NFL press conference after a game. Oh, my favorite trick play was that play when you did the flea flicker. A reporter would never say that or do that. But Meltzer's such an obvious fucking fanboy.
Yeah,
and he's totally whatever's the polar opposite of WWE. He's a fan of.
Yeah,
pretty much.
And that's a shame because you can't be objective, and there's no way that he'll be able to actually say, don't call yourself a reporter. Because like we've had this conversation before, but I don't have it. Listen, I don't have any issues with Alvarez. I don't like his tone. I don't do tough guy shit with people. And I feel like he's the kind of guy who's like a tough guy when he talks about this stuff. And I don't like that, man. If you have a fucking disagreement with me, then talk to me about it. But like, I won't do tough guy shit with anybody. But Meltzer, like I said, you hit it right on the head. It's just like, dude, if you have a preference for what you like, which is the Japanese style wrestling, that's great. Yeah. But don't fucking sit here and shit on something. Don't shit on the Firefly Funhouse or, Roman and Brock at WrestleMania or, Knoxville because that's not your style. That's great, but it's somebody's style. And the rest of the world fucking loved it. So, but no.
I hate when people pretend they're shocked when WWE does WWE things.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, have you watched the company since 1984, 85, since Vince took over?
Right. You realize Mr. T was at the fucking first WrestleMania. Cyndi Lauper was at the first WrestleMania, guys.
They had a fucking wedding with Uncle Elmer.
Right.
So where's the fucking shock with Johnny Knoxville in that match? Stop pretending to be shocked and dismayed. Meltzer was like, I watched this match with friends. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, like, what are you talking about?
Right.
But also, too, like, and then what fucks me up is AEW does stuff like the Ghostbusters tribute with, the All Elite Friends, and it's fine because I'm a big Ghostbusters fan. But, like, don't pretend that AEW is also not doing sports entertainment things. They're literally doing the same shit that they just, like, I don't understand. The differential, guys.
That's a great point.
Literally, they're doing the same fucking thing. It's not Johnny Knoxville and Jackass, but it's the Ghostbusters through TNT or TBS or Turner Broadcasting or whoever the fuck was handling it. And these guys come out literally dressed like the Ghostbusters. And Hangman Page or whoever it was behind Kenny Omega dressed as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And everybody had a fucking bird about it. It's like, guys, everybody was like so excited. They're like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Like, what's the difference? I'm sorry. I'm getting off on a tangent here.
No. You made 1,000% sense with that. If WWE did the exact same thing,
be fucking hands across America. People would be fucking pissed, man. Be fucking furious. I can't believe they are disrespecting my great fucking sport by doing Ghostbusters and Wee Man getting kicked in the face. That shit was fucking great.
Yes.
It was fucking entertaining. I have a friend, Jeff Quinn, friend of the show, Jeff Quinn, watched the Johnny Knoxville match because of Johnny Knoxville. And he was like, man, I was fucking thoroughly entertained watching that match.
The whole point of, bringing in these outsiders to do stuff is hopefully it'll draw in the casual fans that'll stick around.
Right.
To watch other people. When I was, we were running 3PW here in Philly, we would bring in a name talent, the headline in order to get eyes on our younger guys on the undercard. And when they got over, you kind of didn't have to rely on names after a while because you built your own names.
Right. Right. And that's the point.
Yeah.
I just, I would say I would agree with you that I don't think kayfabe is dead. I just think it's done poorly. But what's not done poorly, Blue Meanie, is this program. And I thank you for your time, sir. Tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Before I go back to bed,
Going to fuck to sleep.
yeah, man. I say that now and I'm fucking wide awake. But if you would like to follow me on social media across all platforms, that's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, which who the fuck knows how to work? I don't know. At Blue Meanie BWO. That's www, whatever the fuck. At
Whatever the fuck.
whatever the fuck.
God damn.
I love Cornette.
Me too.
At
Twitter.com/Blue Meanie BWO.
Yeah. I'm just rambling.
No, dude, you're fine.
I got yingling on the brain.
And probably on the breath too, maybe. It's here.
And take two. If you would like to follow me on all forms of social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, which, whatever the fuck, at Blue Meanie BWO. If you would like to support the Blue Meanie, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Blue Meanie, where you could get yourself a fine looking BWO shirt, or you can get a shoot video, which is their version of Cameo. I can, go, and just like on cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO, I can do birthdays, Christmases, well wishes, whatever you want, whatever the fuck. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Blue Meanie, go to cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO. If you want to look and smell good, just like the Blue Meanie, if my bearded brethrens, go to madcatbeardcare.com and get the blue spruce. Josh Thornton just had a nice little tournament of all the beard oils over there at madcatbeardcare.com, and the blue spruce came out head and shoulders above the rest. So,
There you go.
and if you don't have a beard, but it makes a perfect gift for your friends who do. They got the oils and the balms, and I still use my Madcat Beard Care beard comb each and every day. So go to madcatbeardcare.com. Go to collarandelbowbrand.com. Use promo code Meanie and save some money. They have they just did a little relaunch with some new designs and all that good stuff. So go to collarandelbowbrand.com. Al Snow and Rod Hicks are killing it over there. So go support them and save yourself some money. But Mr. Barnard, where can we find you?
Thank you, Blue Meanie. I appreciate you. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at This Is Goober. Yes, it is my handle. No, I'm not changing it. It's a brand, pal. You can find me there. Follow me for all the goodies. You can also listen to the show, my other program, Foundation Radio, by going to foundationradio.net. Lots of great stuff coming up there in the pipeline. Not just wrestling over there, but lots of cool things. You can also go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Foundation Radio. Pick up a shirt. Support the program. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. Pick up a shirt and support the show. Patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie to watch us record this early. We appreciate you, Blue Meanie. I always have a blast doing this. I always feel so like I have so much fun doing this show and being with the Pod Squad every week. This is a blast. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. For the Blue Meanie, I'm Adam Barnard. Join us again each and every week as we take a trip through the mind of the Meanie. Peace.
This episode of Mind of the Meanie was recorded and produced by Adam Barnard and was engineered by Carl Pinnell. Additional production and narration provided by Sam Krebs. Our executive producers are Josh Chernoff, Adam Barnard, and the Blue Meanie. Our opening theme is performed by the Swamp Candles. Our closing theme is performed by Chikara. The show contains original music produced by Enrichment. Get additional bonus content by becoming our patron on Patreon at patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. And follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Mind of the Meanie. This has been a Butts Carlton media production in conjunction with the MLW Radio Network. Butts Carlton, proprietor.
Blue World Order. Dad, why is Blue Meanie's brain out?
The world of MLW Radio never stops.